Hey, what's good? This is Gian Talk Sports episode 9, reaction video to game 1 of the NBA Finals. Man, last night was a really fun game if you're a Dubs fan. I mean, I was getting giddy. I was laughing like a schoolgirl with some of the stuff that KD was doing to Cleveland's defense there, man. And what can I say? You know, the game pretty much went as planned, or as I suspected, a better way of saying that. KD was unguardable last night, which left Steph open, and they killed it. I mean, I think they scored a combined 66 points between them, while LeBron and Kyrie scored 52. Not to mention the turnover thing. I mean, it's insane. Cleveland had 20 total turnovers last night, and LeBron and Kyrie had 12 of them, while KD and Steph had 2 turnovers. Steph having both of those turnovers, and KD 0. I mean, hell of a game. 38 points, 8 boards, 8 assists by KD. You can't. I mean, what else can you say, dude? And not to mention that the performance from Draymond and Klay Thompson on the offensive side was awful. I think they were a combined 6 for 24 or something like that. So they had a really bad game shooting, and the Warriors still won by 22 points. So I don't know, for all you guys out there that were saying LeBron is going to take this series over and really prove he's the greatest of all time, I mean, you guys are selling him. I don't want to say selling him short, but you're setting him up to fail. You know, you are LeVar balling Lonzo with LBJ right now, because man, I said this on another podcast. You can check it out on the last episode I did. We did a full podcast. It's also on YouTube. But the Warriors have too many weapons, and Cleveland doesn't have the same firepower to answer back. And I think it was on display last night. I mean, Kevin Love had a decent game. I think he scored 15 points. He grabbed 21 boards. You can't double team anyone this season. You can't double team Steph, because that's going to leave someone else open. You can't double team KD, because that's going to leave Steph open. And then you got Klay, who's not going to go 3 for 12 or whatever he did, 3 for 16 last night. And Draymond's going to get his as well. So I don't want to say a sweep's going to happen, but I'm kind of feeling it. Like, the game was close for the first half for the most part, but you know, once we got into the second half, this is what happens with every Warriors game. You know, they mess around the first 24 minutes, and then when it comes to the second half, they just open it up and blow people out, blow the doors off of people. You know what, the one major thing that I noticed last night too was, you know, a lot of times we're in the modern NBA, we're having a lot of blowouts because of the 3-point shot. Like, one team is hitting their threes, the other team isn't. Wasn't the case last night. You know, Cleveland hit 11 3-pointers. The Warriors hit 12, you know, and they had a similar shooting percentage as well. But the reason why they got blown out was because of how much stuff, how many points the Warriors were scoring in the paint. You know, I don't know how many dunks. I think KD had 6 dunks. You know, the Warriors were scoring a lot in the paint. Steph was getting in there. You know, it wasn't all outside bombs like Charles Barkley likes to say when he's talking shit about the Warriors. So, man, it's gonna be crazy. I mean, if LeBron pulls this off, he's definitely in the argument for greatest of all time. Definitely. Because with the firepower that the Warriors have, and he was still able to overcome that, I mean, that's insane. But I just don't see it happening. And I don't think you should hold it against him legacy-wise either, because he still played a pretty good, aside from the turnovers, he had a pretty good game last night. You know, he almost had a triple-double as well. And he was the only guy on Cleveland doing anything. You know, Kyrie got his points, whatever, but Kyrie's also a terrible defender. You know, he's a liability on the other side of the court. So Kevin Love's not that great either. I mean, there's just too many. The matchups are crazy, but I mean, I don't have much else to say, to be honest with you. It was the game went the way I expected it to go. Right now, I'm saying Warriors in 5. I'm gonna give the Cavs a game at home. I feel like, you know, maybe game 3 or even game 4, maybe they're down 3-0, and then LeBron just pulls one out, and you know, everybody has a bad game for the Warriors, which hasn't happened yet, but it could happen, you know, or somebody gets into foul trouble. Like, for example, in the first quarter, I got worried about Draymond. He picked up 2 quick fouls, You can argue that they were ticky-tack or not. I think one of them was legitimate. The other one was kind of ticky-tack. But if somebody gets into foul trouble over something, there's very much a possibility. But other than that, just matchup-wise, it's not there. Cleveland just doesn't have the bench to compete with the Warriors bench. I mean, the telltale sign was second quarter starts, and Mike Brown has the Warriors' second rotation out there. It's the NBA Finals, and he didn't change the rotation. He still said, you know what? Katie and Steph, you're still going to get your time, your rest in the second quarter. He had Sean Livingston out there. He had Iggy out there. He had Ian Clark out there quite a bit. JaVale McGee. Like, all these guys playing the second unit were out there for an extended amount of time. And the Dubs still won by 22 points. So, I don't know. I'd love to read some reactions and somebody tell me that I'm wrong. Anybody wants to make a bet, we can do it online. YouTube bets are open for Gian. Hit me up. You know the drill, dngtalk.com. We'll see you soon.